Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we've got Jason Ma with us, and Jason actually grew up in Hong Kong. He's currently stranded in Chicago at a hotel, but Jason, it's great to have you. I just love to hear kind of your origin story of how you got from Hong Kong to Berkeley to working with students on getting into college.
Well, Hong Kong and South Pacific in a little island called Nauru, which used to be an Australian colony, first 11 years, and then immigrated to the U.S. in 1973 when I was age 11. I know I look like a teenager, but I'm actually a tail-end boomer. So I grew up in San Francisco, and I've been a Bay Area boy for over 5 decades. Your questions about my passion, how I got into my passion, or? Sure. I've been in tech for a long time, for over 40 years. I'm co-building another, and invested in another super exciting tech company. Separate subject. I'm not going to talk about that in this Zoom. My other passion is my family business, 3EQ, THREEEQ. I got really interested in education, coaching, mentoring 18 years ago when I got into entrepreneurship and built an edtech SaaS company, software as a service company. Later on, I merged that with another company, a chain of learning centers. So it became a leading college prep services company. Even though kids go to Crystal Springs, go to top private high school, top public schools, they still come to us to get our coaching, counseling, so that they could be the best that they can be, prepare super well, get into the top schools like, Berkeley, Stanford, 8 Ivies, and all the top research universities you could think about, right? The top 50, top 100, and the liberal arts colleges. So it got down to a science, right? So Ivies, like you might know already, right? Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Penn, Dormer Brown, Cornell, Princeton, and Stanford, MIT, Caltech, Berkeley Engineering, UCLA. So as it got down to science, what's different about my approach over the years is that I'm also big on raising the kids' long-term success and well-being arc, holistically, strategically, with a vision, pragmatically, so that the parents, in addition to the kids achieving great results, also get the peace of mind and joy and better relationship and build a better legacy. So fast forward to today, my previous company, I even brought in, I was telling you, even the Zoom founder, Eric Yuan. I saw him give birth to Zoom in my boardroom because I brought him in as a board member and an investor. So welcome to using Zoom, guys. I've been doing that for 15 years. And then fast forward to today, my family business, I tend to be a bit more selective because I got, limited time. So I tend to choose families that are coachable, committed, resourceful, investment-minded. If you like to shop around, you're not the right person for me because, I built very lucky to have built a brand name as an award-winning chief mentor of next-gen leaders. High school kids usually is about college admissions. College kids is typically about your career, first job, anxiety management, activity. And I joke that it's also about boyfriend, girlfriend management, the sanity, mental health. And once you were working, Bruce, you and I, we are, boomers, we are, but in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, we all care about our next level success and well-being, correct? Business, career, personal, family. So depends on who the student is. I hyper-personalize everything, but it's all under my framework. I call it the 4S and 3Q framework. Visionary story, state management, emotional and mental state. Visionary story includes character, your strategic direction, belief system, and soft skills and strategies are interconnected. And I actually help my students condition their habits to replace bad habits with good habits as well. I'm very unusual. My techniques is actually extremely proven and very powerful. And I kind of like to do that because if you don't change your habits, you're not going to change, right? Along the way, I raise their pragmatic, emotional, social, and leadership intelligence, 3EQ. That's a small part of my passion.
Just a small part.
Yeah.
So tell me, for a student that the family obviously wants them to go to Harvard or Stanford. Do you recommend that, or do you try and talk them through
It's
the
all
process?
over the map. In fact, I'm very disappointed by some of what the Ivy League's been doing. Even though I have so many kids, I've over the close to 2 decades, by the way, one-on-one coaching is much more powerful than group coaching or seminars or read a book and all that. Because so I got a small army of former students out there who still love Mr. Ma after 15 years. Some of them still call me Mr. Ma. It's so funny, right? They're in the 30s. Maybe it's endearing to them. They're doing amazing things already. It kind of depends on the, okay, what's your question again? I kind of lost track of that.
Well, just the family that absolutely wants their student to go to Harvard or
Yes,
Stanford,
right.
and you're saying maybe not.
No, maybe not. In fact, I say no very quickly, politely to families, parents, students. The first thing to think about is I want to go to Harvard. But when I look at their academics so far, their transcript or the activities and their tests, and I could read people very quickly based on how I converse with them, skill as well. And I feel that the gap is so large, there's little time, it's impossible. You still want to go there? Then I walk away. No, thank you. You're not the right fit for me, right?
Right.
You say delusional. And a lot of ego, right? I don't work with those parents. And today, the families I work with, they tend to be very, very well off, right? And recently, actually, a lot of my students, some of my students are actually 50, 60-year-olds. They want my executive life, career, coaching, mindset, happiness, joy, peace, but also raise their business effectiveness, right? But back to the school choice, I'm very disappointed because a lot of these Ivy League schools, the problem that they have is that the ideals has gotten away from the old ideals that are really good in the past. But in recent years, in the past 15, 20 years, they got way too woke. And the professors are like over 9-1 liberal over conservative. There's nothing wrong with liberal, but the problem is that I say that a lot of these people are actually godless. That's a problem. Is that the ideals that they teach, and I see just based on results, right? You look at a lot of the students that graduate at Harvard and you kind of, Yale and so not my students.
Right.
After they graduate, then they work. Then the manifestation, the patterns that I see is that they're so thin-skinned, lack resilience, arrogant, delusional. They want to rise up very quickly, but you don't deserve it. Right? You don't deserve it yet. And you want to be just consultant strategy, but you have to get your ass to execution and do their work and rise up. There's some delusion out there. These kids, a lot of these kids is what I call, bluntly speaking, I call them highly intellectual sissies, wimps, like that, okay? Because the world with AI, the world is very complicated, very turbulent, changing very fast. You have to upskill, reskill with strong spirit, with a beautiful mindset, really good soft skills, communication, strategic thinking, critical thinking, kind of curiosity, effective empathy, resilience, adaptability, agility, effective empathy, compassion, along with strategies, and raise what I call your 3 EQ, right? Honestly speaking, a lot of the alums that I know, that I see, bluntly speaking, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, Ivy League alums, what they do today is actually not very impressive. Relative to the expectations they gave them. A lot of them is like they work for a boss and boss's boss that went to a school less famous than Ivy League. What happened? Because they performed. The conduct is good. They build great connections.
Right. So what are the 3 E's?
3 EQ: emotional, social, and leadership intelligence. Not just EQ, because EQ to me is wimpy. Not enough. Your emotion is an instant effect of your beliefs, your self-talk. Sometimes thoughts could be, I call it, some thoughts could be inspirational from God. Some thoughts could be temptations from a devil, somewhere in between. So don't rely too much on your feelings, but you have to have a grounded 3, like more and more powerful 4S and 3 EQ. So I lift out the word social intelligence, in addition to emotional intelligence, and then leadership intelligence, even though it's grammatically incorrect, who cares? But emotional, social leadership intelligence, because social part is your empathy, compassion, empathy in action with other people, correct? And you truly care, not fake. Leadership is holistic, and you also make more money, more impactful. So I along the way, every single student that I have, whether you're 15 years old in high school or you're 62-year-old entrepreneur in Atherton, which I have, by the way, my student,
Right.
raise their 3EQ, identify their strengths and weaknesses, where they want to go, sharpen the visionary direction. I kill some of the habits and coach them, guide them in ways that empower parts that are still a little bit weak or maybe not strong. And then also they get real practical in coaching them tactically, in addition to strategically, the short-term things they have to do. The best way to make progress is to make progress incrementally, but with a visionary, longer-term vision that is more powerful than what you probably might have thought in the past, right? Because
Right.
a jar cannot read your own label. It's better to have a third party reading it for you.
So it sounds to me, if I'm interpreting this correctly, that for particular students, maybe going to the University of Oregon or University of Wisconsin or some other school rather than Harvard or Stanford would be
Absolutely.
much better for their makeup.
One of my latest students, she's lovely, beautiful, blonde hair, single family office, mom, principal in the Midwest, conservative. And I helped her raise her confidence, raise her communications, raise her force and 3EQ. And so pragmatically helped her prepare super well, got admitted to a bunch of top Mediterranean vet school because she loves pets, animals, cats and dogs.
Right.
And ended up choosing a top school in Boston, not Ivy League, but also got admitted to a bunch of schools in the Midwest and the South, Missouri and other Southern schools, right? So it's
Right.
not the brand name. Brand name sometimes is really your ego talking. Okay.
Right.
Now, however, that said, I came from Berkeley Engineering. One thing about brand name depends on which school. The STEM part of it is pretty like a school of foreign service in Georgetown is really famous and steady. And like I came from Berkeley Engineering. One good thing is that I never got challenged by anyone in my 41 years in career, because when you mentioned MIT, Stanford, Berkeley Engineering, no one would challenge you. I never got challenged by anyone because they assume you're smart already, right? Which
Right.
delusional.
Yeah.
They assume you're smart. I'm not that smart, but that the branding does carry some weight, but you don't have to. My Sabrina, she's a senior software engineer team leader at Google. She went to Georgetown, great school, but the CS program is a no-name school. It's got only 2 professors, right? But she
Wow.
hustled, got lucky. One thing lead to another, got hired by Google and became a top performer, making big bucks. One example. And then, once again, a lot of adults, they went to no-name schools, but you hustle, you learn, and, you make the best out of it.
Exactly. Well, I think that's part of the whole gig that you're trying to teach. It's not necessarily where you go, it's what you know that's going to put you into the right.
It's the next 80 years that I think already. I think very long term. I guide my students and their parents, right? Think through the forest, don't avoid the forest for the trees. Don't just see the
Right,
tree
right.
in front of you. You have to know how to navigate the forest after you get through the trees. So a lot of the tiger moms and dads, right? It's once again, it's an ego talking. It's a social currency. It's superficial, right? But I think next 80 years, including your next 4 years already, if you're a high school student, that's how much I care and love, not just what's in front of you. So many families are gaslighted by the media, by these consultants. They kind of hook you, college admission, this, college admission, that. I know that inside out is scary, the know-how, me and my team. I know that inside out, but I like to do it a bit more holistically, a bit more powerfully. So the kids under my mentorship would end up being happier and make even more money than a kid that went to Exeter, that went to,
Right.
that went to, Hawker, that went to Sacred Heart, that went to Crystal Springs, right?
Right.
Because in fact, for you mentioned Crystal Springs, one requirement that I have with the students and the parents is that whenever your counselor in your top private school tell you something, advise you something, don't make the decision yet until you talk to me. Because a pattern that I've seen is that they give wrong advice all the time. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, no kidding. Because these are very nice people making 6-figure salary in Silicon Valley. You make 200K, you're middle class, right? It's a joke. But so oftentimes they're very nice people, but they lack the actual executive CEO real world sophistication.
Right.
You know, I know how the world works and then help them navigate. That's not exactly optimal. Then let's navigate like this and optimize that, because that will lead to that. That will lead to that. It's part of critical thinking, strategic thinking, decision making skills, which is part of a soft skills part within the my force and 3Q model.
So when do you typically start with a student? In junior year?
It's all over the map, my friend. I got middle school kids in the past. But if you're, say, a Tiger family, want to go to real top colleges and universities, it's better to start a little bit earlier, because some kids that come to me during senior year or summer before senior year, most of them on average think that the profile competitiveness is higher than what they really are. And they took a look, then I cannot change your history, correct?
Right.
Time to help prepare you. It's about the quality of your interconnected academics, activities, school year, summer, test prep, your mindset, your soft skills, your vision or story, and then your storytelling. You're going to write, dozens of long and short essays. Most kids pull it here. I help you to maximize the power of your rec letters, even though you cannot directly, control that, unlike essays, but you could influence. There's all sorts of tricks to the trade. So, but everything takes time. The first Forbes article I wrote, I'm a former star Forbes contributor. My articles on average get hundreds of thousands of views, which is over 100x your average Forbes contributor. A bunch of my articles went viral. I wrote about what it takes to get into Stanford, what it takes to get into Berkeley, when to say no to Harvard, applying early decision, early action, et cetera, et cetera. But on top of that, also mindset, soft skills, habits, very holistic, right? And that's a long time ago. Today, I'm much, much better. So my advice is start early as soon as possible, as much as possible, so that'll avoid negative surprises. Okay?
Right.
That's a very common mistake, is starting later than you should. So I got students starting in 9th grade or 10th grade, 11th grade. I still take on select students when they're already senior in high school. Of course, college kid, it's a different situation, correct? And entrepreneurs like you and me, we have no time limit, so we got more freedom. But kids, their lives are actually seasonal. Got to be very careful. It's decision making.
So take an example of a kid coming in at middle school, and he's comes out of sort of a let's call it a normal family. What would be the best story for him to write between, say, middle school and becoming a senior in high school? What story is going to give him the best example of trying to get into a school?
Okay, if you ask me for a recipe, there's no recipe. You cannot do that. Okay, don't do that, please, Bruce. Everything is personal, individual to the individual in a family. Even identical twins are different. Okay, I cannot prescribe to you, here's what you should write. It's all based on his family, the upbringing, the resources around him, and then, their experiences, good and bad, and how they've been shaping. Now, with my guidance, of course, they'll be shaping in a much better, higher, more powerful fashion, because part of what I do is shape people's stories that's very authentic. Okay, let me give you an analogy. Imagine if you want to make a blockbuster. By definition, blockbuster is probably something above $500 billion in a box office, correct? A flop is somewhere in the correct? And you spend 100 million, 200 million making a movie. So that's a blockbuster. Without a great director, even though you're a great actor, most kids are not great actors. They think they are. They're actually a little bit not as good as what they think they are. Without a great director, and without the support of the executive producers that finance a movie, that finance the movie stars, that finance the production, finance the coaches and all the different people, right? Then you're not going to make a movie. Making a movie is about building great character, a story, and production value, quality. So without a great director, I'm like a personal, I kind of tell people, here's how I think. I'm your personalized James Cameron, Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, these top directors, right? Without a great director, your movie is not going to be great because it's so intricate. So a lot of kids or families try to self-direct, even though the parents went to Ivy League, ended up they got a little bit more disappointed than what they think, admission and also post graduation and into the career, not as high as what they should be. I got thousands of data points. I see that all the time, right? Because you did not build your force and 3Q as strong. I know how to do that. I got down to science.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to ask here is that what's the story? Not that it's necessarily a recipe, but
Right.
what's going to get somebody? Obviously, they should come to you and get coached, but what can they do to kind of enhance their story, so to speak?
Like I said, okay, besides your academics, the rigor, the pattern of your performance, the grades, and the classes you're taking, all that is all activities,
Right.
correct? And
Yeah.
habits. So activities are reflected during the school year, during the summer, in school, in a community, maybe internship, and camps, and in a family. How do you shape those activities that's going to build you a great story that makes you a little bit different, a bit? And you're right about that. You could communicate and storytell that. So it's really all over the map, Bruce. It's all, I guess, examples all over the map. Because some kids are super academic stars, crazy competitors in these competitions. Some kids are super great entrepreneurs, for-profit, non-profit. Some kids are research superstars in this incredible research submitted to XYZ, big name thing. So it's really all over the map.
But I think what you're getting to is you have to have some unique selling point. Is I think what you're saying.
You do have to have some unique selling point, because if you want to go for the top 20, say, I hate this. One of my Forbes articles wrote about these controversial college rankings. No one read the methodologies, right? A lot of naive parents, including wealthy parents, kind of don't read the methodologies, just take it as face value. That's a mistake. When you dig into the methodologies, all of them are a joke. How's that? Okay. I wrote about that. It's very subjective. So, now it really depends, my friend. It really depends. Ask me a sharper question, maybe something a bit more specific.
Well, I think at this point, we've probably done really well in terms of getting the outline there. And so I think for those that are listening, where would they get a hold of you?
Go to my family business website, 3EQ. Spell it out, 7 characters, THREE, EQ.com. And you're going to see a bunch of writings and some of the talks that I gave. And a lot of talks, I get invited to speak a lot in some very influential events. And only some were recorded by the organizers. I have to respect the rights. You're going to learn quite a bit. And my contact information and all there. And if you got high school kids, middle school kids, just go to the high schoolers kids. And there's a page for that as well. There's instruction. Here's the next step. Here's how you could reach me. If you're a college kid, a young adult, there's a page for that as well. Just read that, and then there's instruction on how to reach me. If you just go straight to the parents page, there's also insight and instruction on how to reach me. Everything's there. So
That's fantastic. All right. For those listening, I think there's a great value in getting a hold of Jason. So particularly if you have high school or middle school kids, I think you got to jump in there right now. So
or
Jason,
you could also be a executive CEO, right? Also, select students. I'm selective, so.
So anyone that needs a little help along the way, it sounds like you're there to be the coach and help them do that.
Because the life stage goals are different based on age bracket, but still within my framework.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, let's pause for now, and I want to come back and talk to you again sometime in the near future.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.